Hey.
Yo, yo.
Sorry, my phone was all twisted. Hold on one second. There we go.
Boom.
Okay, perfect. Hi, my name is Chelsea Ciara. I'm a hairstylist, male groomer, cosmetologist from New York City, currently living in Los Angeles and making beautiful people feel even more beautiful all around the world.
Damn, you smoked that shit. I was about to, and where are you from? And what do you do?
I do a lot of casting videos.
Done. Easy. Which came first, the modeling or hair school?
So, straight out of high school, I was enrolled in the Navy and I was going to be a cryptologist technician. And I had 4 months before I was supposed to go to boot camp. And I was in New York and I was just like, I love doing hair. Like all of high school, I spent every gym class braiding hair. It was the era of every guy had cornrows. And all homecomings and proms and sweet 16s, I did all the hair for. So I'm like, let me just see what it would be like to go to a cosmetology school and see what they're asking for. And I went to Karsten Aveda in Union Square, New York, and they taught with Aveda products, which at the time were 98% plant derivatives. So it really got me into, like, way before green or clean beauty was a thing, it really got me into using plant-based products and knowing the constituents that are inside of everyday things that actually affect us. You know what I mean? That are endocrine disruptors. And they also taught the French style of cutting. So it was very European as far as the technique, but also very like grounded in kind of activism in the product. So I feel like that was such a cool crossbreed. And then I started assisting on set with some people who graduated before me. And then just by being on set, photographers were like, well, the model is late. You want to jump in front of the camera? Let's take some photos. So then I was like, sure, why not? Like, but I just enjoy being creative. So I was like, let's do it. And then that led to actual working jobs in front of the camera. So who am I to turn down good, easy earned money? And then it just became kind of this beautiful dance between like, what do you need me to do? I could be in front of the camera, behind the camera, on the side of the camera, what you need. But I always did hair and makeup for friends and family, for special events. And then I was focusing on makeup. It really picked up during the pandemic when salons closed. And so many people who had been coming to me for years were like, well, my girl Chelsea cuts and she's not at a salon, she'll come to you or you could come to her. And it kind of didn't stop. And at that time I was 6 months pregnant. So since I've been 6 months pregnant, praise God, I've been able to just keep working and making people feel beautiful.
That's incredible. And I love how you finished that because one of the things that I really liked and appreciated when we first had our initial conversation about like you hopefully coming on board to do makeup for the shoot in New York is you were just talking about how not only like the obvious thing is like your job is essentially to make people feel good because you know the outward appearance, the hair is right, the skin is glowing, whatever the case may be. But
Yeah.
you really leaned into that and you were just like, I want people to feel like this, and not because I'm caking makeup on, but because I'm letting like maybe like specific features flourish and shine. So like tell me about like, you know, this thing that you want people to get from their experience with you.
I think first and foremost, I want my clients to leave feeling like themselves. I don't want them to feel like they're masquerading as someone else or like they are putting on a whole new face. I want to accentuate their best features and then help them accept the ones that maybe they don't love so much, you know? Because God gives all of us a certain set of skills and unique attributes, and it'd be a shame to, you know, dismiss his work. So I am grateful that I'm able to, number one, accept myself, flaws and all, and then give people the space to accept themselves so that they can feel themselves, so that when they're on camera, they're not self-conscious because they're already so in their body and present that they're just there to work. They're not worried about the superficiality of it all. When I First started taking clients in Los Angeles. I used to take them at home, and I had an at-home studio, very similar to my little at-home studio here. And the apartment I was in at that time faced the street. So I would do people's hair, and as much as they loved it in my house, it was so amazing to watch them go to their car and spend 20 minutes taking selfies, just like feeling brand new. Even if I, literally just cut their hair and wash their hair, and they're leaving with wet curly hair, or they're leaving with diffused curly hair, or they're leaving with a blow dry. To see that confidence that they feel just by a look that they feel like embodies what and who they are.
You were the makeup person for the Ro James shooting out in New York. Was really geeked that Ro was familiar with you and happy to have you on board. Thinking back to setting him up specifically, what can you recall from that experience and just like making sure? I think I saw you like, brushing down his beard, maybe plucking a few loose stray hairs.
Yeah, I think it's so cool when you meet up with people from a different part of your life, and then life has that circle effect. Because when I met Ro, I was actually in school for cosmetology, and that was a decade ago. So not to be, doing his grooming, I thought was just so cool. And I think especially for men, it's important to do lymphatic drainage in the face because, men are already self-conscious once makeup is put on their face. They already feel foreign. They already feel like, can I touch it? Can I not touch it? So the number one thing is like lymphatic drainage. So if his eyes are puffy, we're gonna do the neck first, then we're gonna do the jawline, then around the eye and the ear, and then we're gonna tap under the eye so that all that fluid knows like, you gotta go. You can't stay here. Because if it's stuck here and you're swollen, that's because your lymph is blocked. So I think, especially with men, making sure that the face is drained, the neck is drained, the collarbone is drained so that all of this has somewhere to go. And then you have, number one, more full range of motion in the face and the facial expressions. And then on top of that, you're more relaxed.
You have like your own process and system going into it, which essentially is starting from zero. So please walk me and everybody viewing through like your initial process, because I was like, oh, this isn't just going to be some simple little, dab and go situation. Like Chelsea's about to have me. I was laid out on the in the booth.
Yeah.
It was like I had a face massage. I had to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom and wash my face clean, and then you did your thing from there.
Yeah, I think it's essential for me to start from scratch. Number one, to get the client, which in this case was you, familiar with my energy and also calm. People don't realize how calming touching your face is for the central nervous system. So I like to start with some light reflexology. I use like a tool that's like a pen, and it pinpoints different pressure points on the face that help with relieving tension, that help with draining fluid and getting you into your body. So often we're looking at screens and we don't realize how much our face is just like, like scrunched up. So just to like decompress, to open, to drain, and to get you inside of you. So much we're looking at screens and telephones and computers, and we're outside of ourselves. We're planning for the future. We're delegating. We're talking to so many different people. And just to hone back our energy, even when I'm doing hair at the salon, I tell people like, as much as I think it'd be fantastic, you can multitask, you're here to get pampered. You know what I mean? Like, so let's not do two things at once right now. Let's do one thing and let's do it really good.
I think just creating that comfort is really important. So yeah, it was a really interesting experience. Again, thankful for it, and hopefully we can make it happen again.
Take some of those things home and try them yourself.
Yeah, no, and again, and I'm going to mispronounce it, but you reminded me of something, and I told you in real time. My wife had already gotten me this tool, and I let it sit in my drawer. It's called the gua sha.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. And that does what? It smooths out the tension, or what does it do?
It breaks up the fascia. So basically, I'm not sure if you're familiar with fascia, but it's the muscle. It is the layer of tissue on top of the muscle. And just like muscle, it can get coagulated, it could get, constricted, and it's all over your whole body. So to break it up, especially if you want to deal, I mean, you could do gua sha for anything, for calming yourself down, for hair growth, for blood flow, for relieving tension, for lymphatic drainage. So I love to start, especially in the head, the pressure points at the crown of the head and the hairline. And then from there, you do the face and the neck. But it's such a powerful tool. And I think in an age where everyone is looking for like a quick fix, or like what can give me these results now, where they'll go and get a cosmetic procedure, it's little things that all it costs you is time and attention. And how amazing is that to give that back to yourself when you've been dealing it out all day?
There'll be times when we take breaks and, maybe Ro will be having water, or they need to reset the camera or something like that. And I turn back and like you're standing on top of the booth looking into the camera. I guess the simple question is why, and where does your interest beyond just like doing what you're there to do come from? Because most people would have again, like it's an opportunity to be on my phone, checking at home, whatever the case may be. And you're like, oh, I want to see this angle. I want to see what's going on. You're asking my director questions as well.
Yeah, I think being on set and being in a creative environment is extremely inspiring. And I love taking the opportunity, number one, to learn more about my craft, to learn more about the people that I work with, to learn more about the different equipment and technology used, and also to study my subject. So if you guys are switching cameras, if you're switching light, I want to see how the shadows are hitting him. I want to see what needs to be powdered. I want to see what's being highlighted now. And just so that the subject is also aware of how they're carrying themselves. Do they need to like look up a little bit more, even if it feels uncomfortable? It's all about getting the subject captured in the best possible way. So if I could be a part of that beyond just, powdering and some concealer and a face massage, then I'm going to be a part of it.
This new gig that you have, tell me about it. What, when, where, how?
Okay. So the California Club is a prestigious membership club that's been around for a century. And in that club, they've always had a barbershop. And the barbershop has only operated for men by men. This year, the owner of the barbershop approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in being the first female stylist, taking the first female clients. And at first, I was a little apprehensive because it's definitely a different environment, a different clientele, a different audience. But the more I spent time in the space and the more I communicated with Byron, who is the owner of Common Ground, which is the barbershop that's inside the California Club, the more I realized like this is going to be such a great place for me to flourish and meet new people and have a new audience. And what better way to do something as monumental as being the first in a space, especially as a woman of color.
Again, I said it before, I'll continue to say it. Really appreciate that you were able to make it out to New York, or you were already in New York, and thankful that you were able to make time. Hope to get you on set as things progress in the phase 2 and future episodes. And you were great. And man, just thank you.
Yeah, of course. I look forward to everything else we'll do in the future.
Awesome. And if people want to find you one more time, socials, website, name of the spot you're working at one more time, anything you can provide, please do.
Yeah. My social media is at Chelsea_Ciara, Ciara. I work at Common Ground Hair Suite in the California Club in downtown LA. If you ever want to see me for haircuts, blow dries, braids, styling, updo, sew-ins. And if you ever want to book a face massage or lymphatic drainage, just contact me. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for
Later.
your time.